Kinds of Kindness promised to reignite the love affair I had with director Yorgos Lanthimos. The man who made The Killing of a Sacred Deer, The Lobster and The Favourite was nowhere to be found in Poor Things, which felt like his worst directorial effort yet. An overindulgent film that jumps the shark with a repetitive latter half, while applying a dizzying amount of fisheye lens in the process. But Kinds of Kindness held the potential of being a return to form. Co-written by Efthimis Filippou, who helped write all of Yorgos' work up until The Favourite, which essentially means he co-wrote Yorgos' most eclectic, freshest work. With the big difference being that Kinds of Kindness, unlike the aforementioned films, is an anthology film, featuring a set of 3 stories with stars Emma Stone, Jesse Plemons, Willem Dafoe and Margaret Qualley playing different roles in each film, resulting in an experiment that is just as ambitious and weird as it is disappointing and head-scratching. Though on paper an anthology film appears to be an easier feat to pull than a feature-length film, looks can be deceiving. It can be challenging to tell a great story within a 50-minute time frame, complete with its own beginning, middle and end, establishing and getting us to care for a group of characters in a world from the ground up in that same time span. Doing this once is hard. Doing this 3 times is even harder. Unfortunately, Kinds of Kindness is not game for such a difficult task. Often it feels like Yorgos is too committed to enforcing the same principles of a feature film onto the mold of an anthology one, resulting in stories that feel overambitious and underdeveloped. Each story is overstuffed with more characters than it can stomach, resulting in the vast majority feeling incredibly underdeveloped. When a director only has finite amount of time to tell a story, conventional wisdom says they would prioritize telling their story in as most time efficient of a manner as possible, which would require a degree of focus. That level of focus and precision is nowhere to be found in the second and third stories, which each feature too many subplots than one should ever find in what is essentially a collection of short films, leading both stories to crumble under their own weight. When I heard that this movie, originally titled A&D, would be an anthology film, I instantly assumed that each story would feature different characters. After all, you don't watch Black Mirror and expect Josh Hartnett to pop up in 3 different episodes as 3 different characters. That would be weird, right? Well, Yorgos Lanthimos happens to love all things weird to a fault. There was no reason to believe this couldn't work if executed right, but as it is, many of the performances are too similar. And with an insufficient amount of screen time to flesh the characters out, it feels less like you're watching an anthology film, and more like you're watching the same set of characters as past lives versions of themselves. For an incredibly experimental, weird, thematically ambiguous film, the title Kinds of Kindness feels profoundly simple. And maybe that's because whoever was in charge of choosing the title was intent on creating a connecting web between an admittedly unrelated set of stories. Sure, I've seen people propose explanations for how each story explores kindness in its different forms, and they all feel like incredibly tenuous arguments. If we apply such a loose, backwards to the solution framework to other movies, one could justify packaging even the most thematically and aesthetically different films into one package. Like saying that Gone Girl and When Harry Met Sally belong on the same shelf because they each deal with heartbreak. Even as a critic of Poor Things, there's always something of artistic value to be found in Yorgos' films, and he isn't about to start creating irredeemable garbage now. He undeniably surrounds himself with many talented people, and they clearly gravitate toward working with him, so it's no surprise he's assembled a hell of a cast. Emma Stone, Willem Dafoe, the incredible Margaret Qualley who never disappoints, and most incredibly Jesse Plemons. The cinematography by Robbie Ryan does a great job creating an off-putting tone. Jerskin Fendrix builds upon his incredible work on Poor Things with yet another score that is as unsettling as it is darkly amusing, underpinning the dark comedy tones of the movie. But most significantly, the first of the 3 stories in this movie is genuinely solid and succeeds in every area where the other stories fail. It is a genuinely focused story anchored in a fantastic lead performance from Jesse Plemons, who shares an electric, conflict-fueled dynamic with Willem Dafoe's character. It's a delightfully off-putting story which explores the impact of conditional kindness, the one with strings attached and expectations written in small print. And Jesse Plemons continues to prove that despite all the comparisons he draws with Matt Damon looks-wise, his career is actually a lot more interesting right now. And as a game night fan, I did get a kick out of seeing Jesse play a cop in one of these these stories. And as a fan of Hunter Schafer, I did get a kick of seeing a cameo in this movie. I only wish he was in it more. Ultimately, Kinds of Kindness is a step back in the right direction from Poor Thing, finding Yorgos operating in as unsettling of a vein as he operated from in films such as Killing of a Sacred Deer. However, it lacks in the focus and restraint of such films, with Lanthimos struggling to make the leap into the anthology film format. It's as if he made 3 feature-length films and then at the very last minute chopped them down into 3 short films. And it results in a film of 100 swings and 40 misses. Which is my way of saying I'm giving this a 6 out of 10. Thanks for watching this video. If you've had the chance to watch Kinds of Kindness, let us know what you thought about it in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and hit us with a subscribe, cause it really helps. I'm Cinemike and I'll see you next time.